Hello, my friends. I've got a nice little drawing to share with you today. Now, it has been a couple of weeks since I have posted anything, so I do apologize for that. I did actually end up getting sick. I thought I was going to be okay, but I did end up getting sick, and so I'm still recovering from that, and hopefully I'll get my voice back, I'll get my strength back. But here what I'm showing you right now is a drawing that actually started off a little bit like neurographic art. So you can kind of see that the way that I started it, it might be very familiar to some of you, where you just kind of start off by scribbling with a pencil, or you could even do it with a pen if you want to just go right in with a pen. And even at the beginning, when I started kind of doing some line work, I did start very much like neurographic art, just trying to play around with it, but I think I decided very, very quickly that what I wanted to do was to just use the pencil lines or these little marks and squiggles that were there as just a foundation to play around in. So you see that I'm already starting here to add some textures, kind of doing some shading as well. And as I just keep playing with this drawing, I pretty much just start doing anything that kind of comes to mind. I think it was a lot more freeing for me personally than actually doing neurographic art, probably just because that style of drawing is a little too structured for me. But in this case, I feel like I can just kind of do anything that I want. And so I did. So you'll see I'm kind of just building up from there. So as this drawing kind of continues to change and grow, I would like to just take a moment to share a few things, especially for those of you who follow the channel and have been here from the beginning. First of all, thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful experience, and it's really just been nice. It's been unfortunate that I've gotten sick so many times, and so it kind of puts a little bit of stress on me. So what I am going to do is for a little while, I don't know if it'll be indefinitely, but the the link that I provided to my store, I'm going to be removing that from my videos because I'm going to stop selling physical items. Many of you have bought art journals and other things from me, and I'm really grateful for that. I just don't feel that right now with the way that my health is, I can really keep up with kind of physical orders and shipping and things like that. So again, thank you so much for everyone who's purchased. It really helped out the money that I was making from that. I am going to be taking a break from that, and I'm going to be refunding orders as well, because I think I haven't looked in a little while, but there were some people who placed orders, and I'm going to be refunding those just because I'm not able to fulfill them. So thank you so much. And again, I'm so sorry and I apologize. It's just things have changed a lot recently for me. I had a hope that I would be able to keep up with everything that I had planned for this, kind of for my hobbies and the bookmaking and drawing and everything together, but I'm having to kind of thin things back. I feel like maybe there's a few too things on my plate. And so yeah, that's going to be one of the things that I'll be doing is cutting back on selling things on my website. I hopefully will be able to get things kind of squared away sometime soon, and I should be able to kind of get things figured out. But for now, I will continue to share my drawings and just videos like this where I share the process of some of the things that I create, because it is a lot of fun for me, and it's very therapeutic. So I hope that it is for you as well. And maybe someday, if I have the time, I can go back to offering some of my handmade art journals, if that's possible. I'm not sure right now. So, of course, as soon as anything changes or there are any other updates, I will let everyone know, because I know some people do ask sometimes. And again, thank you so much if you have purchased anything from me lately. Now, going back to the drawing that we've got going on here, you probably noticed already that I'm using a different pen than what I usually use. This is just an office pen. I guess I just really wanted to go for some purple this time and just kind of see what I could create using a colored pen instead of black. And it's a lot of fun. I think it was really interesting. I don't know why, if I go for a while without using a colored pen, it really changes the way that I look at things. So this was a nice little exercise just to try to play around and see what kind of textures or what kind of depth I could create. And you can see here that I am continuing to just use the lines as kind of like suggestions instead of actual solid and definite lines to use. I was really enjoying very much the way this looked very surreal. And it was probably affected too by kind of when I've been sick, of course, so I did kind of go in and out of having a fever a few times. And so just every time that I look at this, I know that I was sick, and so it kind of felt like a little bit like a fever dream. So it was really interesting going back and look at it and just seeing kind of what I created there. So yeah, lots of different shapes and forms. They almost look like they're kind of exploding out. And from nowhere in particular, at least. So I hope that if you give this a try, you really do try to kind of remove any kind of constraints that you have on your pattern making or your art making, and notice that you really can just kind of let go and just try everything on one page. So at this point, I go through and I start to remove some of the pencil lines. You'll see that I actually left an area on the right hand lower side that I decided not to draw on. I think it's important sometimes too to consider the negative space, because in this case the negative space is any of that white that I don't use. That would be my negative space. And so I've decided to leave a nice big space over on the side, and then right now what I'm doing is just using a pencil to play around and just kind of add shading in a few different places. As I'm working on this, I did decide to not do any kind of blending. I just wanted to leave the pencil marks just kind of the way they naturally look when you just do some shading. So that's what this is. Personally, also, I just don't like to focus too much on the shading sometimes, because I can seriously do it for hours, just hours and hours, and so I didn't want to do that this time. I wanted to actually just experiment and just try to see how things would look if I just added a little bit more tone here, just here and there in little places, and so I think it worked out really nicely. One thing that I am trying to remind myself about is that when I'm kind of sketching this way, regardless of what tool I'm using, right now I'm using a pencil and a pen, whatever it is I'm using, I'm trying to remind myself that this isn't like a finished painting or anything grand or magnificent, but that this is really just an experiment and just an opportunity to play with my tools. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm not being too specific about how I shade. I'm just trying out shading in a couple of different places. I probably could have done it better, but it doesn't really matter. That's not the point. It's just to kind of play around. And so there you see I'm kind of just adding that last little bit. And this is pretty much it. So I really do hope that you enjoy this. I hope you give this a try. It was actually really fun. And so that's it for me. That's it for today. I hope that you are doing well and that you are having a great week. I hope to see you in the next one.